बस ठीक है. अच्छा, now we were doing formulas. ये सारे हमने ना we did the formulas of if you can see on the screen. हमने top के ऊपर we did the formulas of ions. ठीक है, polyatomic ions. फिर acids के formulas, acids कौन से थे which were producing H plus one ions. Any compound that produces H plus one ions is an acid. तो उसके पास H plus one ions होंगे तो it's going to produce H plus one ions. Uh, so combine H plus one with any negative ion. ठीक है, any combination of a positive H plus one ion with a negative ion that is most likely to be an acid. तो उसमें carbonate and H plus one you'll get H2CO3. So you have to remember all the names of these acids: sulfuric acid, nitrous acid. So these names should be on your fingertips. And I told you that there are infinite other molecules that are considered acids. जिसमें I briefly went over organic acids, which we are not going to study right now. लेकिन हमने वो पढ़ा था कि any carbon containing compound is usually considered an organic compound. And in this, we talked about strong acids. They ionize fully and they produce more H plus one ions. They break down more readily. If the molecule breaks down, only then would the H plus one ion be produced. HNO2 का जो molecule होगा, if it breaks down and ionizes, then it's going to produce H plus one ions. So acids ki briefly we did the formulas and we did some properties as well, that they have sour taste and litmus paper ka effect, etc. We did that. Then we talked about bases. Basis में था कि you had compounds that accept H plus one ions. और remember कि importance क्या थी कि water was important. Water के अंदर there are two ions, H plus one and OH ions. So water is important because it's a solvent everywhere, wherever you go on planet Earth. ठीक है, water is the most abundant thing on the surface of the Earth. So water के अंदर if you add an acid, तो H plus one quantity would increase. If you add a base, H plus one quantity would decrease. So there are many different types of water. There's acidic, there's basic, and then there's neutral. So bases accept H plus one ions. Which compounds are bases? They're basically compounds containing O2 minus ions or OH minus one ions because they accept H plus one ions to form water. So the category of compounds that are bases are metal oxides, metal hydroxides. So a positive metal ion with a hydroxide OH minus one ion, or a positive metal ion with an oxide O2 minus ion, or there's an ammonium hydroxide as well. Okay, right now we haven't talked about gases yet. Okay, the last thing that we did was we were talking about salts. Salts were neutral compounds. They were ionic compounds. They contained a positive ion and a negative ion, but they were neutral compounds. They neither produce H plus one ions nor do they accept H plus one ions. And I explained that salts are formed when acids are neutralized. So if you have an acid, the sole purpose of an acid is to produce H plus one ions when it dissociates, when it ionizes, when it breaks down. But how do you neutralize an acid? The way you can neutralize an acid is if in the molecule you can get rid of the H plus one ion and substitute it with any other positive ion, you'll get an acid. So this is what is meant by neutralization. So this is how salts are produced in chemical reactions. Substitute the H plus one ion in an acid with any other ion. With any other ion. And so I'll do a few more examples. For example, if you have H2SO4. I said right now, it's your choice. Any other ion substitute, you can get a salt. Get rid of the H. If you get rid of the H, you're left with SO4. And if you look at the list of ions, SO4 has a charge of 2 minus. Replace the H with any other ion. Let's say I replace it with sodium ion. So the formula is going to be Na2SO4. And that is going to be my salt, which is going to be called sodium sulfate. Then you have, let's take another example. HNO3, you want to make a salt out of it. You get rid of the H, you're left with NO3 minus 1. You can remember the charge. Charge is given, this is a nitrate ion. So what do you replace the H with? Replace it with, let's say we replace it with magnesium, a group 2 metal, which is 2 plus. So the formula would be MgNO3, and it's going to be twice. ठीक है? Maha, this is clear? Ahmed, clear? Okay, how are salts produced?
Yes.
अच्छा, so
Yes.
ठीक है. अभी फिलहाल right now I've only discussed it, but it's an open-ended way of making a salt. ठीक है? You have your choice. Just get rid of the H and substitute anything in its place. You'll get a salt. But in the natural reaction, it's obviously you can't substitute it with anything. You'll only substitute it with the available things that you have in the reaction. So right now, when I talked about this sodium substituting, though, I had a free choice. Okay, now not in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, you'll have a very specific metal ion that is going to substitute the H plus 1. So we're going to start with the first equation, our very first equation. So let's call it equation number 1. Now, equation number 1 is, and there are like 5-6 equations that you need to know about acids and bases. Most of the equations that you're going to study are going to be related to acids and bases. So the first equation is about a metal that reacts with an acid. Metals like to react with acids. And when they react, they neutralize the acid to produce salt and a hydrogen gas molecule. So this is your reaction. So a metal reacts with an acid, ends up producing a salt and produces hydrogen gas as well. So the first thing, before making an equation, let's talk a little bit about metals. Now, the issue with this reaction is that not all metals behave in the same way. Some metals are very reactive, some metals are very unreactive. So some metals are very reactive. For example, you must have heard about sodium. Sodium being very reactive. So some metals are extremely reactive, while some are very unreactive. So let's think of sodium, ठीक है, as a very reactive metal, while some metals are very unreactive. Your mic is on. एक second. And your voice is breaking. कौन? चलो ठीक है. अच्छा, while some metals are they're very unreactive. And one example of that is gold. Yes, silver. This is silver. Gold is AU. You can remember the symbol of gold. And the same is pretty much true for acids as well. Some acids are strong acids. Most of the acids that we discussed were strong acids, while others are very weak acids. Just I told you about citric acid and the acid in apples. They're very, very weak acids. So the speed of the reaction depends on the two. If you have a very reactive metal, the reaction is going to be very vigorous. If you have a very unreactive metal like gold, gold doesn't react with anything or doesn't like to react with anything. Gold, for thousands of years, it would lie in a tomb and it won't react with anything. It won't rust. It would be as if it's in its original state. So it has really no, and the reason it doesn't rust is that when metals react, when we were doing chemical bonding, metals like to lose electrons. And they like to form positive ions. That's always true. That's how a metal is defined. A metal likes to lose electrons and form positive ions whenever it's going to react. But the issue with gold is that it's probably so attracted to its electrons that it doesn't like to, it probably has so many protons in its nucleus that it's very, very strongly attracted to its electrons and it doesn't like to lose electrons. So that's why there's a difference in reactivity. Some metals, they lose electrons very easily. For example, sodium uh, has only 11 protons. It isn't holding its electrons very strongly. So it loses those electrons very, very easily. But some other metals that have a lot more protons, for example, iron is also very unreactive. I mean, you make cars out of iron. Iron does react, it does rust, but it does it very, very slowly. So iron has 26 protons. So maybe iron is holding its electrons very strongly close to it and it doesn't like to lose electrons. But the difference in reactivity of metals is how quickly would it lose electrons. Now, down the line, TK, not right now, we're not going to go into a lot of detail right now, but there's a thing called the reactivity series. TK, right now, our focus is equations, so we're not going to really discuss this in a lot of detail. I'm just going to write down the reactivity series. This will come in handy later on, TK, because we're going to study metals as a separate chapter. So there's K, Na, Cmg, Al, Zn, and Fe, Sn, Pb. Then H, then Cu, Hg, Ag, Au, and Pt. Achha, this is called the reactivity series. Just a very brief introduction about the reactivity series of metals. Now, as you move down the reactivity series, the reactivity decreases. The metals become less and less reactive. They don't like to lose electrons. But the metals on the right side, they're probably very strongly attracted to the electrons. So this side is less reactive, and this side is more reactive. Especially these group 1. I mean, the first few elements are from group 1. So they're extremely reactive. They like to lose electrons very easily. But as you move to the right, they don't really like to lose electrons. So you make wires out of copper. Why? Because you know that copper is going to last for 30 years or 40 years and it's not going to rust. It's not going to react. Copper is not going to lose its electrons. Copper is going to remain as copper. The same is true for gold and Ag silver. Okay, so when we talk about this reaction, not all metals are going to react in exactly the same way. Some would react very, very explosively. I mean, if you add potassium, you can watch videos on this, TK. If you add potassium to an acid, there's going to be a very big explosion. It's going to be a very dangerous reaction because it's going to be so vigorous. But if you add gold to an acid, there is hardly going to be a reaction. So remember the difference, have some idea about the difference in reactivity. So what I really wanted to tell you about is, I mean, these are more reactive, so I'm going to write explosive reactions. Less reactive, so it's either going to be no reaction or extremely slow reaction. I mean, it's going to take a very long time for the reaction to happen. So either no reaction or extremely slow reaction. And so what you need to know right now is, it's this thing over here. It's these metals over here in the middle. These are the ones that react moderately, which means they're not going to react explosively or slowly. So their reactions are normal. So they react moderately and they can be used in the school laboratory. So when you react these metals, there's not going to be a reaction. Metal plus acid produces salt plus H2, no explosive reaction. And the reaction would happen, but relatively slowly. So you'd be able to observe this very carefully. So react moderately, used in school laboratory. So you can do this reaction with these metals in your lab. One way to remember these metals is remember the word mazit. You can try and remember this word. Uh, Z is zinc, sorry, A is aluminium, I is iron, and Sn is tin, so that's T. So just remember these words. Okay, when you think of this reaction, think of mazit metals. They're the ones that are going to have a normal reaction. Okay, so just a brief introduction of the reactivities, which we're going to cover in a lot more detail. Okay, we're not going to go into a lot more into further detail about this. तो ये clear है कि I just wanted to tell you before we write this reaction, which metals are actually going to react normally in this case. ठीक है? Sidra, is this clear? Anna, clear है?
Yes.
ठीक है. So let's start from this point. Okay, metal plus acid produces salt plus H2, but not all metals. ठीक है? You have to be very specific about about the metals that you use. Now we're going to start with the reaction, equation number 1. So I'm going to stick with mazit metals. ठीक है? Remember the word mazit. Magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, and tin. So now these metals. Let's start with equation number 1. ठीक है? Now you need two things. You need to know the formula of the ions, polyatomic ions, ठीक है, the entire list. Plus you need to know the names of the acids. So the first reaction is, let's say it's magnesium plus nitric acid. And I want to write down an equation. So it's going to be Mg. That's magnesium. Reacting with nitric acid. You must know what the formula is. Nitric acid was made when H plus 1 and NO3 minus 1, they got together. So this is nitric acid. You must know this formula, ठीक है, by heart. And that would result in the production of a salt plus hydrogen gas. Now hydrogen gas would always be produced. So write it even before you make the equation, because if it's a metal reacting with an acid, it's bound to produce magnesium, a salt plus hydrogen gas. The only thing is we need to figure out what the salt is going to be. So what did I tell you? How are salts produced? The H in the acid, get rid of it, neutralize it. But you have only one choice. So the metal is going to come in and it's going to get rid of the H in the acid. It's going to neutralize the acid. So what would you get? The H would be removed. So you'll be left with NO3 minus 1. And in the place of H, there's going to be Mg taking its place. Mg comes in, knocks out the H, neutralizes the acid, and takes over where H was. So instead of H being there, there's Mg over there. And Mg is a group 2 metal, so it's going to have a charge of 2+. So what would be the formula? Now, once you've done this, make the formula of the salt using crisscross. So it's going to be Mg, and NO3 would be twice. Because if you do crisscross, then that's the formula of the salt. So this is the salt that's going to be produced. And we can get rid of these arrows. Okay, so the metal comes in. But let me write this down. The metal substitutes the H plus 1 in the acid. Right? Is that clear? Okay, question. Saad, is this equation clear? How to make this equation? Mahad, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now comes the second part. The first thing is step 1. Make the formulas. We have done that. Okay, we're done with step 1. We've made all the formulas of all the salt that is produced, the hydrogen gas that is produced. And remember, formulas can't change. I mean, if you hydrogen gas is always going to be H2. You can't make this H3. It can't be H4. It can't be H5. It is H2. It's a diatomic molecule. Hydrogen gas always has this formula. And so remember this, whenever you see hydrogen gas, it's always going to be H2. It's always two hydrogen atoms bonded to each other. So that's the first thing. You make the formula. And make sure you can't change the formula. So the formulas are locked in place. So can't do anything about them now because they're already made. Okay? Now coming to step 2, which is you balance the equation. Now, what does balancing equation mean? It means that the number of atoms, you can't create atoms or destroy atoms. So the number of atoms on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, they must be the same. So so they can't just appear out of anywhere. If there is one hydrogen on the left side, there has to be one hydrogen on the right side. You can't have two hydrogens. You can't have two hydrogens in your product because it's impossible to create hydrogens. So balance the equation and make the number of atoms equal. Equal on both sides. So how do you do that? The way you do this is, you can make sure right at the beginning, try and actually do this because right at the beginning, if you're not used to balancing equations, you might make this mistake. Put a bracket. Now this is an imaginary bracket, but right at the beginning, if this is the first time you're balancing an equation, make a bracket around each of the molecule. That just shows that you can't change this. This is one entity. Okay, so you can't really change hydrogen. The only thing that you can do is you can increase the number of molecules. So for example, and let's start balancing. The first thing, how many magnesiums do I have over here on the left side? There's only one, right? How many magnesiums do I have on the right hand side? There's only one. And let me explain this as well. The formula is MgNO3 twice. Now, remember that this 2 over here, this is attached to NO3. What does this 2 mean? It means that there are 2 nitrate ions. This 2 has nothing to do with magnesium. If this 2 was with magnesium, then magnesium would be 2. I mean, there would be 2 magnesiums in the formula. But this 2 is with nitrate, which means that this entire thing, the underlying thing, they've been doubled. I mean, there are 2 nitrate ions. What that basically means is that there's one magnesium ion, which is 2 plus, and there are 2 nitrate ions. So instead of actually writing 2 nitrate ions, you put a nitrate ion, you put a bracket around it, and you multiply it by 2. So everything in this bracket would be doubled. So the first thing is to guess, to calculate the right number of atoms you have. So there are 6 oxygens over here. Now this 3 even. Remember, this 3 is not with nitrogen, it is with oxygen. So that means oxygen was 3, but there are 2 nitrate ions, which means everything would be doubled and there would be 6 oxygen atoms. In the bracket, there's only one nitrogen. Remember, there's no number attached with nitrogen, but the whole thing is doubled. So that means there are 2 nitrogens. And with magnesium, there is no number attached, so there's only one magnesium. I mean, if there's nothing attached, that basically by default means that there is one magnesium. So there's one magnesium. So this is the first very basic thing. I mean, when you see a formula, you must know how many atoms of different elements are present in the atom. So oxygen is there's 3 attached with oxygen. If you put a bracket around it and there's 2, that means there are 2 nitrate ions, which means everything is doubled. So oxygen would be 6, nitrogen would be 2, and magnesium would be 1. So, and remember this, when you talk about formulas of compounds, formulas are always written with these subscripts. I mean, when you have numbers, they're always written below the element. Okay, there's 1 magnesium and there are 2 nitrates. In 1 nitrate, there are 3 oxygens. So there's a small, tiny number given below. That basically indicates that everything, all of them are bonded together. I mean, if you look at H2 over here, the small 2 at the bottom means that there are 2 hydrogens that are bonded together. So when compounds or atoms or elements are joined together, you write these subscripts. Okay, if there's 1 or 2 or 3 and they're all joined together, you always write subscripts. Sometimes there's a number written in front of a thing. For example, if I write 2 hydrogen molecules, this is known as a coefficient. Okay, when you're balancing equations, you're dealing with coefficients. I said this 2 has a different meaning. What this 2 means is, I said the small 2 means, the small 2 over here means that there are 2 hydrogens in 1 molecule and they are bonded together. So whenever you see this small 2, that means whatever the atoms they are, they're all bonded to each other. For example, if it's written 3H2O molecules, so that means there are 2 hydrogens and there's 1 oxygen and they are all joined to each other. They're bonded together. So this entire thing is 1 molecule. So they're all grouped together, they're all combined, and they're all forming 1 molecule. And so what does this coefficient mean? The meaning of this coefficient is, like if there's 3H2 or 2H2 molecules, what that basically means is, that tells you the quantity of the molecules. It tells you that there are 3, I mean, if it's 3 written in front of H2O, that means that there are 3 separate water molecules. That means there's a water molecule, there's another water molecule, and there's another water molecule. They don't have anything to do with each other. I mean, you have a total of 3 water molecules. They're not bonded to each other. They could be in separate places. They could be anywhere on the planet. But you have 3 water molecules. Okay? They don't have anything to do with each other. Similarly, if you have 2 H2 molecules, so coefficient, that is what is meant by coefficient. That tells you the quantity of the molecules that you have. If 2H2 means that there's 1 H2 molecule and there's another H2 molecule somewhere else. But in total, you have a total of 2 H2 molecules. So when you're balancing, you're dealing with coefficients. So once you've made these formulas, these formulas have been made, you can't change the formula. Whenever you talk about nitric acid is going to have 1 hydrogen, 1 nitrogen, and 3 oxygens, and they would all be joined together. You can't change the formula. You can't make this HNO6. You can't make this HNO2 or HNO1. It won't be nitric acid. Similarly, you can't change the formula of this molecule. The only thing is you can change the quantity of the molecules. You can change the number of molecules that you have. And that is what you do when you're trying to balance equations. So the first thing that you're going to do is, if you look at this equation, and remember, try and balance the easiest things first. The easiest things are the ones that come in the least number of places and the least number of times, that are easy to balance. For example, if you look over here, this molecule has how many hydrogens? It has 2 hydrogens. So there are 2 hydrogens in this equation on the right side, in the product side. But in the reactants, you just had 2 hydrogens. So what you're going to do is, you can't change the formula. I can't make this H2. That's incorrect. Because the formula of nitric acid cannot be changed. What I can do is, I can increase the number of molecules. I can have 2 HNO3 molecules. What that basically means is, let me move all of this to a side. Just 1 second. So what this 2 basically means is that I have another nitric acid molecule that's separate from the one. So I added another nitric acid molecule. ठीक है, they don't have anything to do with each other. It's just that I needed two hydrogens in the product, so I added another nitric acid molecule. That's why I added the two. So remember what is meant by the coefficient. The coefficient is you just multiply the number of molecules. You don't change the formula. So let's put a 2 over there. And now everything would pretty much be balanced in this. Because if you look at NO3, as you can look at NO3 together, or you can look at the elements separately. For example, let's focus on nitrogen. How many nitrogen do I have in NO3? There's just one. I mean, there's no number written with nitrogen, so there's one. But you've put a bracket and put a 2 around it. So that means there are two nitrogens over here. Actually, the same over here. How many nitrogens do I have in this molecule? There's only one. But since I have two molecules, that means there's going to be two nitrogens. So that is also balanced. In a similar way, we can balance. We can try and balance oxygen. How many oxygens do I have in nitrate? I have 3 oxygens. But since you've put a bracket around it and put 2 over there, that means I have a total of 6 oxygens. And the same over here. How many oxygens do I have? I have 3 oxygens. But since I have 2 molecules, that means I have 3 oxygens. But since I have 2 molecules, that means I'll have a total of 6 oxygens. Okay, so try and figure out, but I'll just briefly summarize this and simplify this. When you make an equation, you make the formulas, okay? That's step 1. Once you're done with the formulas, can't change the formula. Okay, this is the formula, put a bracket around it, you can't touch it, okay? You can't do anything about it. Nitric acid is HNO3, you can't, once you know what the formula is, you can't do anything about it. Okay? H2 is H2, you can't make it H3. That's the first thing. So when you write an equation, that's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to construct formulas. Forget the fact that there are 2 hydrogens over here, there's only one. I mean, balancing comes later. You make the correct or the right type of formulas. And balancing comes in later. And when you're balancing, the only thing you can change is the coefficient. You can increase the number of molecules. I mean, if the product had 2 hydrogens, you need 2 hydrogens over here as well. But you can't change the formula. So you can have 2 molecules of HNO3, 2 separate molecules of HNO3. That will give you 2 hydrogens. Okay, is this clear? Anna, is this clear? Mahad, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So remember these 2 steps. Just keep it simple. First thing is make the formulas. And when you balance the equation, yes, let me add this as well. The only thing you can do is only change the coefficient. Okay, you can't do anything about the formulas. So let's do a slightly more difficult one. Let's say there's calcium. So now there's number 2. So we have let's say calcium reacting with phosphoric acid. So again, it's going to produce salt plus H2. It's a metal plus acid, so it's going to produce salt plus H2 gas. So there's calcium reacting with phosphoric acid. Remember the formula, it's H3PO4, it's given in the list. So it's going to produce salt plus H2. Write down H2. Okay, because it is going to be produced, so let's put H2 first. We don't know what quantity of H2 would be produced, whether there would be 3H2 or 4H2. I just added H2, okay? Forget the balancing part for now. Okay, for example, if you look at the equation, it's clearly not balanced. I mean, there are 3 hydrogens over here, there's 2 hydrogens over there. I'm not concerned, okay? I need to get the formulas right. So how do you get the salt? Salt is formed when the H in the acid is substituted. By which thing? By calcium. Calcium comes in. I mean, that's the only choice you have. There's nothing else. So calcium comes and takes its place. So calcium comes in, the H is gone, what's left is PO4. Now you need to construct this formula. What is the charge on calcium? Calcium is in group 2, so it is 2 plus. PO4, if you look at the table that's drawn above, it's going to be PO4 is minus 3. And you need to do crisscross. It's going to be Ca3 and PO4 would be twice. Okay, so I've gotten the formula right. So that's what I've done. The formulas are all correct. I don't think anything is wrong with the formulas. H3PO4, hydrogen gas is H2, and this is calcium phosphate. So everything has been made. Now moving to the next part. Draw these imaginary brackets. Can't change them now. I mean, where did the 4 go? Just 1 second. This is H3PO4. I said draw these imaginary brackets. So can't change the formulas now. The only thing is I can increase the number of molecules. Now, anyone, Saad, what is the easiest to balance? Which thing do you think is unbalanced? Which atom element is unbalanced in missing? या कोई भी अहमद
CA.
ठीक है तो यहाँ पे there are 3 CAs तो उधर क्या करना है उधर 3 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो 3 CA कर दो that's it ठीक है so that is balanced. Mahad, what's the next thing do you think is unbalanced?
You can put a 2 behind H3PO4.
ठीक है and what are you trying to balance?
The hydrogen.
I mean, there are 3 hydrogens over here, there are 2 hydrogens over here. You need to multiply both of them with a number.
So you would put a 3 behind H2.
So now it's balanced. 6 on both sides. If you have 2 molecules of H3PO4, that means 6 hydrogens. If you have 3 molecules of H2, that means 6 hydrogens. So that's balanced. And the rest of the equation, the good thing about balancing is that if you try and balance the easier things, the difficult ones actually tend to balance themselves out automatically. For example, PO4 is automatically balanced. I mean, if you look at oxygen separately, you can think of PO4 together because there's PO4 over here and there's a PO4 over here as well. You can think of them, you can try and balance them together. I mean, there are 2 PO4s because it's twice, bracket twice. There's only 1 PO4 over here, but since there are 2 molecules, so that's also 2 PO4s. Or you can think of oxygen separately. How many oxygens do you have? You have 4 oxygens. But there's a bracket and the 2 around it, so that's 8 oxygens because you have 2 PO4s. How many oxygens do you have over here? There's 4 oxygens. But there are 2 molecules, so that's 8 oxygens as well. So the difficult ones are going to balance themselves out automatically. Okay? Now try and I'm going to give you 2 equations. Try and do this yourself. Aluminium plus, let's say, sulfuric acid. Attempt this equation. Try and make this equation. It's going to produce salt. Metal plus acid produces salt plus H2. So anyways, try and do this one yourself. You have 5 minutes. You can figure out the formula of the sulfuric acid if you haven't still remembered it. Plus the formula of the ions as well. They're written above. 5 minutes and make whatever equation, try and balance it. And send it quickly. ठीक है। अहमद के अलावा डिड समबडी एल्स सेंड इट?
Yes, I sent it.
Just 1 second. ठीक है, अहमद बिल्कुल सही है। Just 1 second. ठीक है सिद्धार्थ, that's fine. Except कि you don't write charges, ठीक है? Just don't write the charge. And बाकी भी मुझे send कर दो. I'll give you more work on this equation, ठीक है? This is only the first type of equation that we've made. So here's, there's going to be a lot of equations actually, ठीक है? Just 1 second, let me check another one. Is ठीक है, ये साथ आपने भेजा है, किसने भेजा है? एना, डिड यू सेंड इट?
मैंने भेजा।
अच्छा, इस पे इसको बैलेंस तो करो। बाकी ठीक है, फॉर्मूलाज ठीक है, फॉर्मूलाज बिल्कुल ठीक है। तो ओनली थिंग इज कि ये देखो ना, SO4 यहाँ पे 3 है ना इस साइड पे, इसको ट्राई करो बैलेंस करने की। फॉर्मूलाज बिल्कुल ठीक है। So just this one more, just 1 second. ठीक है, बाद that looks good. So I'm quite confident you'd be able to do this now. So the questions that you're supposed to do is, you quickly now, aluminium with all acids. वो पूरी लिस्ट नहीं है। Balanced equations, complete balanced equations. You did it with sulfuric acid. Do it with all the acids. I mean, there would be, I think, yeah, you would have to make 8-9 equations. ठीक है, और ये मैं उसके ऊपर ऐड कर देता हूँ, ठीक है? तो aluminium with all acids, that's your homework. ठीक है, Anna, did you send it?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, बस ठीक है। ठीक है, आपका बस मैं 1 सेकंड जल्दी से have a look। और वो भी ठीक है। तो बस ये टास्क है, पहला टास्क, एल्यूमिनियम विद ऑल दी एसिड्स। वो ऊपर लिस्ट नहीं है, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड के साथ तो कर लिए, दी 8-9 एसिड्स दैट वी रोट डाउन, ठीक है? दैट्स योर होमवर्क। ये मुझे सेंड कर देना। आई विल वेट फॉर द आंसर्स, कल तक कर देना, ठीक है? बिफोर क्लास, ठीक है? चल ठीक है, एनी क्वेश्चंस? इफ नो क्वेश्चंस तो कल फिर क्लास होती है, ठीक है? टेक केयर, अल्लाह हाफिज़।
Allah Hafiz.